Hello. So today I'm going to be discussing with you what I have chose for my classroom theme. The theme I have chosen for my classroom is around the world. I chose this because I plan to have an anti-bias classroom, one in which all races and cultures and family types are represented. I want my students to all feel as though they belong, as well as my other students from different cultures. I'm going to incorporate the alphabet, the shapes, colors, calendar, and all the standard classroom decor, but each section will represent another part of the world or another culture. I will also have a families section as well that incorporates different families, such as those with two moms or two dads, a mom and a dad, foster family, and single parent home. This is meant to represent different cultures, as not all families are the same. And I want the learning space to be equal and inviting for all. It's something that I've been thinking about since I took my anti-bias child development class. Really got me thinking. I really feel this is a great way to incorporate that within the classroom. They say an inclusive learning space makes a happy learning space. And so, with my lessons for the aesthetic domain, the first one is a dramatic play with Baby Doll Nursery dramatic play, which the students will be able to take care of babies as if they were in a nursery. They will have checklists, and all over the place there'll be everything that you would see in a nursery, and they will get the opportunity to play that. The second one I chose is Puppet Time. This is going to give them the opportunity to build their language as well as putting on puppet shows for one another. I think it's a great way for them to connect with one another as well, and to do some cooperative learning. For the affective domain, I have Explore the World of Instruments. And within that, we're also going to explore the emotions that come from the instruments, whether they're played loud, softly, fast, or what have you. What the kids think those instruments are displaying as far as emotion. They'll get the opportunity to go around and play all the different instruments. I will model some of the instruments, and it's pretty much a free for all for them to explore the world of music and then meet back together and maybe then play some examples of feelings and emotions that they can create with the music. My second one is called Music Stop, Then We Freeze. This one's a great one. Who doesn't like freeze? Uh, Anyways, the music will play, and obviously they will get to dance. And whenever the music pauses, they will have to stop. This helps with their self regulating and their self control. It's a lot of fun, and I will give the children an opportunity, those who are struggling, to be the one that gets to stop and the music while we're playing. For cognitive domain, I have 1, 2, 3, Make It Grow, which is a plant growing exercise, which is great. For the students, they get the opportunity to use their hands. It helps with motor skills. It helps them think, and they'll get the opportunity of planting this, learning what the plant is, and then watching it grow and eventually taking it home and sharing it with their family, which is another way to get parent involvement in this activity. Possibly could ask for parent volunteers, which also helps build the parent teacher relationship. And then we have 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe, which is a math exercise. We're going to go ahead and go into sequencing, learning our numbers from 1 to 10. I'll be reciting the 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. We will have a worksheet with little manipulatives where they get to do one and then put one item, two, and then put two items. And it's all going to be based around the 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe to kind of get them started. And it's really a fun way for them to learn their numbers 1 to 10, get the hands on with the manipulatives so that they can bring it to life. Then for language domain, I have my first book. And this will be a variety because obviously each child may not be at the same stage. So you'll have words cut out, you'll have sight words for those who can write, they can write it. You'll have pictures cut out that represent words for those who speak another language. You will have their home language there for them to be able to make this book. It's their own. They get to make it however they want to make it. They get to share it with us afterwards. And there really is no right or wrong way. It's their book, and I want them to have fun with it. This activity does require you knowing your students because you really need to know who may need more assistance so that those items are prepared ahead of time. But it's a real fun activity. And then the second one for our language domain is what comes first. And we'll be using the Three Little Pigs. I will start the lesson by basically sequencing what I do to get ready in the morning. I will have little pictures up, and I'll show them. Then I'm going to jumble them all up, and the students are going to go ahead and help me put them back in order. This is going to give them the idea of how things go. We're going to learn, okay, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. After we played around with mumbling and jumbling and having them rearrange them for me, I'm going to go ahead and read the story of the Three Little Pigs. After that story, we're going to sit around and discuss the story. They can tell me what comes first, what comes last, kind of give me a summary, and then they're going to be given the opportunity to go sit at their desk. There'll be pictures on a paper, and they'll get to number 1, 2, 3, 4 in order and have the opportunity to color. This may require assistance for those struggling. That may just mean reiterating and retelling the story or asking guided questions so that they can have a light bulb in their head and be like, oh, okay. But it's a really fun activity, and it's a very crucial part of reading comprehension. For physical domain, I have Who's a Litter Bug. This one is going to be an outside activity in which we're going to learn about littering and how bad it is. And we're going to walk around basically like a nature walk, and they're going to go ahead and pick up trash. After that, we're going to actually make our own little litter bugs, basically to represent our lesson. They're going to have the opportunity to crunch up the paper and make this little bug. It's going to take it's going to use a lot of fine motor skills and a lot of coordination, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then at the end of the day, we're going to place these litter bugs around where trash cans are, our recycling bins, to kind of remind us that we need to recycle. Second, I have traffic safety, red light, green light. Most children do know the concept of the game, but this one, though, we'll have a red, green, and yellow circle. Those will represent, we will say the words, but they'll represent the traffic safety light. It kind of doubles as a traffic safety lesson as well. I'm going to give the children opportunity to be the traffic light. Maybe those who are struggling could be the traffic light. For those who are struggling or, having some difficulty, I'm going to participate as well, so they can kind of follow along. It's a really good way for coordination, listening skills, self-regulation, self-control, and of course, it's always fun to be the traffic light, and there is an underlying lesson of traffic safety within there. Then we have my social domain, which is what are you feeling? Let's find out. There is a story that I'm going to read. It's a feeling story. And we're going to kind of go through that and point out the different emotions. Of course, we're going to ask them, do they make a happy face, make a sad face? We're going to talk a lot about emotions, and I'm going to go around the room and asking them about several different emotions. And within the book, we obviously are going to summarize together, point out the little emotions. At this point, I'll be passing around a bucket of books and some sticky notes with some pencils. And the children are going to have the opportunity to flip through these books and put sticky notes next to emotions and draw their little feelings, a sad face, a happy face, or whatever. And they're going to go around and they can help each other. I'll be walking around, and they'll get to share some of them at the end and share their little artwork. And basically, it's also a dual activity because it does incorporate reading, learning how to thumb through the pages, getting comfortable with books, as well as exploring emotions. And then we have friends, treat them nice. This one is a real fun activity. Basically, we're going to talk about what it means to be a good friend. I'm going to allow the students to go ahead and tell me what it is like to be a good friend. What are the key aspects of being a good friend, like listening, being nice, being kind. Then we are going to read a story, basically about friendship. Unfortunately, my twins ripped that one, so I don't have the explanation. It's a show. But anyways, and so we're going to go through and we're going to talk about, okay, how are they a good friend here? How are they a good friend there? I think it's just really fun. It incorporates reading. And then we're going to go around talking about the book and talking about what it, again, means to be a good friend. Obviously, listening is one of the key aspects. And then they're going to have the opportunity, because who doesn't like art, to go sit and draw something about how to be a good friend, whether it be they're helping open a door to a friend and so on and so forth. They're going to have their creative time there, and then we'll share it with the group. And a lot of the times during the reading and when they're offering explanations, I am going to be writing up their suggestions and their responses behind so that they can see all the ideas behind us. It kind of brings it to life. For circle time lessons, I have sorting and grouping, which is basically a very, very simple lesson. We are going to sort animals to their habitats. It's a lot of fun. I will have actual stuffed animals they can pass around, and possibly some small little habitats where we can place them. And we're going to talk about the different habitats, talk about why a fish is in the water, why can't they be on land. Basically, to kind of get them involved in learning the environment and placing things where they go, which is also great for sorting and grouping practice. They will have the opportunity with their own little papers to sort and place the animals where they belong, and share with the group as well. And then we have the game telephone, which I find to be really great, practicing your listening and your speech skills. We'll ask everybody if they've ever heard of the game telephone, and we'll go over how things can be misinterpreted. Basically, how do you misunderstand someone? Are they talking too fast? Are they talking too low? Are they not enunciating words? Are they not speaking clearly? And how do we understand what they're saying? Are we listening? Are we being quiet? Are we focusing on them? And so it's going to be a lot about listening and speaking to one another before we go into the whole game. We will model the game once, quite slowly. I'm sure there'll be a lot of goofs with people getting the answer wrong, but it's still a lot of fun. I'm going to give the children the opportunity to come up with words and go around, and we'll do this for a while, several times. I want them to really kind of get into their head the listening and the saying. And once we're done, we're going to discuss which ways they felt were good ways to hear or listen, or what made it easier for them to understand a person. And then just basically reiterating how important it is to listen, focus on the person speaking, and then when we speak clearly. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my summary of my lessons, and have a great day.